We have breaking news right now into the KTIV newsroom. Representative Randy Feenstra has just announced he is running for governor of Iowa. That news coming from our Iowa political director, Dave Price, who joins us live from Des Moines. Dave, this is huge news. What can you tell us about this announcement?
Yeah, and technically speaking, he hasn't announced that he's running. Some of this is semantics, but he has filed so that he can start raising money to run. You don't usually do that if you're not going to run. So a little bit of semantics, but he filed the paperwork today with the Iowa Ethics and Campaign Disclosure Board. And this really reflects a huge change in Iowa politics that really began in April. That's when Governor Kim Reynolds announced that she would no longer seek re-election. And we started hearing different people's names who were looking into this. As the days moved on, Congressman Feenstra's name came up a few times from party insiders. And this has especially become a lot louder over the last 1 to 2 weeks. Last week's in particular, as he started having himself and some of the people close to him reach out to some Republicans across the state as they looked at this possibility. With this filing now, this does then set him up for this expected announcement for governor. The timing of this for the political nerds like myself is that we already had an announcement today, an official one from the Democratic State Auditor Rob Sand. This was not a surprise, talked about for quite a while, but he formally announced that he was running for governor. Now, he's already collected nearly $9 million, a lot of it from his family, about $7 million. So Rob Sand expects to be very well financed in a race for governor. That would be a challenge for Congressman Feenstra to see how much money he can raise. And just realistically, it's different for him. He represents the 4th Congressional District. A lot of Republicans in that district. It's comfortably Republican. That's why Republicans tend to do very, very well there. Running statewide, Republicans also have an advantage, about 190,000 registered Republican voter advantage over registered Democrats, but a statewide race, a lot different than running in a Republican-heavy congressional race. Katie.
Yeah, and Dave, this news, of course, you just mentioned, he represents a lot of Northwest Iowans. He's a very familiar face here in Siouxland. How do you think he's going to fare as someone who's so well known to a lot of our viewers here at KTIV?
Yeah, and he has to now, do the other 3 congressional districts. He did represent Iowa in the state Senate. That's a much smaller area. He was in there for 3 terms before he got into Congress. But another wild card here is we don't know yet the other Republicans, all of the other Republicans who might also run for governor. You have a guy named Brad Sherman. He was in the State House for 1 term from outside east of Des Moines, not very well known. So for Congressman Feenstra, will he be the most well-known Republican to run in this race? Will we have just 2 people? Will the Secretary of Agriculture, Mike Naig, go forward with plans so that he can run for governor as well? A few other names to watch, but Congressman Feenstra, a big name to get into this race, and substantially changes as we start looking at the possibilities for 2026.
A lot yet to come now from Feenstra and this governor's race at Iowa. Dave, thanks for joining us. KTIV's Iowa Political Director, Dave Price.